Welcome to our Magical Tuesdays call. Today's topic is getting out of debt joyfully. So, what is debt? And what does it mean to each one of us? Let's make lots of money. Yes, let's make lots of money. What if that is a target you can include in your life and living today and in the future? What if you could receive ease and joy with receiving money? And if any of you have loans, what if you can just repay them with total ease without a point of view about what it is, what it isn't? Sometimes we make repaying loans very difficult for us. And what if it was not difficult at all? What if we didn't have to choose debts? What if we didn't have to choose owing anybody any money? What if we could just create and receive and have money with ease? So receiving money and having money, if some of you have attended some of my earlier workshops or heard about this earlier, this is about receiving is about how much you're receiving every month on month, year on year, how much you receive. And out of that money, how much are you willing to have? What if you could just allow money to live in your bank accounts, to just be there? And what if we didn't have to spend it urgently on something or the other? What if you could allow yourself to create assets, have money put in plots of land, maybe property, other types of property, jewelry, whatever else you'd like to create? What if we could choose ease with having money and receiving money? And what else is possible? So today's topic, what was coming up was to look through this book, Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. It's been written by Simone Milases. And I'm going to read a section of that book just today and talk a little bit about that. So my name is Deepa Ramaraj. I'm a certified facilitator from Access Consciousness. And Access has helped me find ease and joy in a lot of aspects of life, with money, with business, with body, with me, and so many other aspects. So many of you may have also chosen a lot of ease in many areas of your life. And what if it is time to acknowledge those? Because as you acknowledge what is working for you, what you have been creating with ease, that actually opens up a whole different reality. Open up your videos, please, so that I can see more of your handsome faces if you're a guy and pretty faces if you're a girl. Okay, so, so chapter 2 of this book is about what changes debt. So we are looking at the book Getting Out of Debt Joyfully by Simone Milases. What is your point of view about debt? What does it seem? Does it seem normal, inevitable, or unavoidable to you? Have you been taught to believe that debt is bad, wrong? Or have you been taught to believe it's a necessary evil? Some people say, no, debts are normal. We will have it all the time. Some people say, no, it's bad to have a debt. So if they do have a loan to somebody, they make it wrong. Now, anytime you make something wrong, that's a place that we could get stuck. So what if nothing is right or wrong, good or bad? It's a choice we made. Now what else is possible? Do you avoid looking at your debt? Do you keep yourself ignorant about debt and hope that it'll take care of itself? So what do? This is time for you to think. In case you have loans, do you just shut it off and say, oh, I don't even want to look at it. I don't want to know where I have loans outstanding to other people. And some of you may have people who owe you money and haven't yet paid you. So you're looking at, hey, what would it take for all these people to pay me with ease? And what else is possible? So Simone says, what if I told you that debt is just a choice? It's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's just a choice. It may sound simplistic, yet the most essential and powerful tool for getting out of debt is to recognize that debt is a choice you have and that you can change it if you desire to do so. Once you make the choice to get out of debt, you can change everything. So Simone says, often when she tells people debt is a choice, money is a choice, they don't want to know it. They would prefer to judge themselves rather than have a look at what they're currently creating in their reality. You may ask, if debt is just a choice, why do I have debt? What have I done wrong? What haven't I gotten right? Please don't judge, blame, or get into the wrongness of you. What if nothing you have been done is wrong? You made a choice, it got you to this place. Now what else is possible? What if you could get out of debt joyfully too? What if now is the perfect time to choose something new? And some of you may have no debts. You don't have people owing you money. You don't have you owing money to anybody too. And this amazing book can change your reality even if you don't have debts. And that's just a crazy, crazy contribution this book can be to people. So even people who don't have debts have experienced a greater ease with money, a greater relationship with money from the tools of this book. The moment you choose something different, let's say you have a loan of some type, or even if you don't have a loan, you just like to choose a greater possibility. The moment you choose, okay, what else is possible here? What possibilities can I choose here that would create new revenues for me right away? So when you start asking questions like that, the universe is just waiting to contribute to you and the energy starts flowing your way. The moment you say to yourself, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to change this, you actually empower yourself by taking off your debt-colored glasses where you made it wrong or right or good or bad and ask, what else is possible? What can I do here to change this? What can I be here to change this? What if instead of choosing from a point of view that I can't change this, you instead tapped into the question of, what if I could choose anything? Then what would I choose for me? What would I like to create? What would I like to choose? What if you could allow 3 new revenue streams into your life right away? Some of what I say is from the book. Some of it is what I'm speaking. It's not from the book, by the way. So when you change your point of view, your reality begins to change. Your reality is actually a reflection of what you are choosing as a point of view. Your point of view creates your reality. This is one of the tools of this world. So when you choose a particular point of view, your money reality, your business reality, your life reality shows up in a particular way. Can you change it? Yes. When you change your point of view, actually that earlier reality can dissolve and a new reality can show up. What point of view do you have that is creating your current financial situation? What if you allowed yourself to change your point of view? Would it give you freedom to choose something different? So moving forward to another part of the book. What is it you'd like to create with money in 5 years, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, whatever? So what is it you'd like to create? If you'd like to create something greater in the future, a choice you make today could contribute to that. So what choice are you making now that is shutting off your future rather than opening up? What if now you can change that point of view to something greater? What could you choose today that would contribute to you today, now, and in the future? So what point of view could I choose that could create greater for me now and in the future? That's another tool, by the way. So each one of these questions is a tool by itself because that opens up new possibilities. Oh, sorry. That was a reminder of mine. So if you had bought somebody's point of view, for example, people said, no, business is difficult in our family. We don't do business, you're the only one, why are you choosing business? Or if they say, in our family, we only choose business, why are you choosing working for a company? So both ways, what takes place is if we buy into that point of view, we start defending for or against that point of view. And we are constantly like, oh, yes, correct. But my family, we don't do this, but I did this. So I have to fight against this, or I have to avoid something. So either we're avoiding something sometimes, or we are defending for or against a point of view. So that keeps us busy. It keeps us from creating what is possible. If you give up defending for or against some point of view, then something greater could be possible. So whatever you are defending for or against, what if you could let that go? Whatever you're avoiding right now that is creating your money situation, what if you could let that go? What if you could have fun with money, with business? What if you could have the enthusiasm for life and living? What if you could allow new ideas to come into your life, new people to come into your life who could just contribute something greater? What are the new targets you could create? Sometimes, we don't have a target. Either we've met our target, or for some reason, we're not choosing to create a target. So I'm going to ask all of you now to choose some target in the area of finances. 3 targets. Each one of you write down 3 targets you would like to create with money. In the area of money, 3 targets. Would anybody like to share it on the chat window or speak about it? What are 3 new targets you'd like to create? Yes, anyone? Okay, somebody's message to say, I'd like to start a new business. Cool. What if one of the targets could be also taking stock of your financial reality? What is your financial reality today? How much are you receiving? What is your inflow? What is your outflow? How much do you have in the banks? How much do you have as property in different forms? What if you could take stock of that? What if that could be a target too? Wonderful. Someone says that they would choose to clear their past expenses in another 24 months. Awesome. How does it get better than this? So past expenses are what money you have taken for a loan, for example. As a loan, you've taken money from someone. Now you owe the money. You've spent it somewhere else. So you don't have the money right now to repay them. So those are your past expenses. So this person is looking at clearing that in 2 years. Okay. Wow. So it says, okay, this person says that they would like to have a buffer of money in 4 years from now to never think of how much they have in their account. Okay. And another person has created some targets. Zero liabilities, 100 crores in the bank FD as investments, and 100 crore flourishing organic farm. How does it get better than this? So another person would like to create a target of buying a house or a plot by the end of this year. Awesome. What else? What else is possible? Okay, so regarding this thing where someone has written to never think of how much I have in the account. I get what you're saying. When there is money owing to people or you're short of money, you may be watching, oh, do I have enough money in my account? Can I spend this much? Or should I spend less? What should I do? Okay, so that is also being watchful of the account and what you're spending. What if you could always be aware of how much you're spending? Even if you have a lot of money in your account, what if you could always be present to how much you're spending? Spending is a choice. And what if there is nothing right or wrong, good or bad about it? So another person has created a target of creating a fund to feed at least a couple of souls daily. Okay. How does it get better than this? What else would you like to create a target for? So if you're going through a phase where you met some targets, look at recreating new targets. Because when we get to the space of targets are met, we sometimes just stop creation because, okay, I met my target, so I don't know what to do now. And we stop creating money or we stop creating projects which could generate money. And sometimes if you say money is bad or I have enough money, then that can also stop the inflow of money. So always ask, okay, how does it get better than this? When you get money, ask, how does it get better than this? When something you planned for does not actualize, money does not show up in the way that you thought, ask, how does it get better than this? Because you're asking for the energies to get better any which way. If it's good, it can get even better. If it's not going good, it can get better too. So what else is possible? And when you say what else is possible, you're actually asking for new ideas to inflow to you. If you had no judgment about money, what would you create your financial reality to be? Would it be serious and problematic, like we are often told it would be? Or would you like to create something very, very different? Have you decided that the solid, heavy stuff in life is real? What if it is not real? What if you could have a different reality with money? Maybe you've not seen other people having ease with money, choosing ease with money. What if you could now choose ease with money? Ask, universe, teach me to have ease with money. What would it take for me to choose ease with money? What if you could just ask for money and it could show up? What if it was that easy? So here is a discussion that Simone is talking about. So Simone says, okay, there is heaviness around money sometimes. So when we associate, especially with this reality, but what if there's nothing to this reality? And what if that's just an interesting point of view, what people are saying about business or about money? So this woman, she's talking to asks, but isn't it real that I need money to pay my bills? Isn't that real that I need money to pay for my food? Isn't all of that real? So Simone says, everybody is telling you that you have to pay your bills, you have to buy your food, But those are conclusions. You don't have to do those things. You could go bankrupt. You could just not pay your bills. You could just leave. You could just drop in a friend's house and eat their food. There are a million different things you could do. You may not choose it. That's a different thing. You can also choose to create something totally different. You always, always, always have choice. What are you choosing? If there were infinite possibilities, infinite number of choices, what would you like to choose? Very often we align and agree with somebody's point of view, or we resist and react to somebody's point of view. No, no, life will be like this. I know you're saying this, but I don't believe that. That is reaction. Aligning and agree is, yes, yes, I agree with you. Life will be difficult. Money will not be easy. That is very aligning and agreeing with someone. Instead of aligning and agreeing with someone's point of view or resisting and reacting to it, what if you could just create a whole different possibility with money? So when we look at something as a problem or something as difficult, we actually make it solid. So Simone says, you make it solid like a brick. Science has shown us that even the most solid things are actually 99.99% space, because there is space even between molecules. It's not totally solid, but we make it solid in our head. A great tool for creating ease with any point of view is to make it interesting. Okay, this is an interesting point of view. And what if we didn't have to buy into any point of view? What if we didn't have to make it real for us? Interesting point of view. Let's play with this tool for for a little bit of time. Okay. Now look at your biggest problem with money. Right now, what is your biggest problem with money? Just think about that. And any of the emotions, feelings that come up, get that and say, interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. So keep thinking about that and keep saying, interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. As you keep practicing this, earlier, that point of view and you might have been like this all together. As you start practicing this tool, the point of view may start moving away from you. Because now you're saying, okay, this is an interesting point of view that I have this point of view. So right now I'm choosing this point of view. And as you loosen that up, it starts moving away from you. So keep practicing this over the next few days. Keep looking at what you had decided was your biggest problem and keep saying, interesting point of view, I had that point of view. Interesting point of view, I had that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. And as you keep practicing this, it will start loosening up and moving out. And it may no longer be as solid as you had made it earlier. When you say interesting point of view, I have this point of view to a thought, feeling, or emotion, it dissipates or changes. That means it really isn't true for you anymore. Now think of someone you're really grateful for in life. Now think about some person you're really grateful for. Get the energy of having them in your life. Just look at that and say, interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. and it may still be there for you. When something is true for us and we are acknowledging it, it creates a sense of lightness and expansiveness in our world. When something isn't true, like a judgment or a conclusion, we have come to some conclusion about something, then it's heavy. It feels contracted or tight. And when you say interesting point of view, I have this point of view, what is true for you expands and grows. And what is not becomes less substantial and starts to dissipate. You can also acknowledge that you had a point of view earlier about this and say, hey, you know what? I'm willing to let this go now. Even if you let go 1%, it still moves out. It stops being as solid in your world as before. So another part of the same chapter, Simone talks about giving up comfort with debt. She says, I often talk with people who were in debt, who became debt-free, and then went back into debt. And she says, it's easy for a person who is in debt to get positive, again, go into debt, get positive, get into debt again, because they have a comfort with being in debt. That is their reality that they are comfortable with. You know, there are certain foods we are used to eating, like you might be eating a particular type of cuisine, a particular type of food, and then you tend to eat the same similar type of food. You may not change or be experimental to eat a different type of food. Same thing sometimes with debt. We are used to wearing certain types of clothes. We're used to talking in a particular way. We're used to eating particular types of food, visiting certain restaurants. So we tend to do the same thing. So this debt is also something that might be a comfort zone for people, and they tend to get into that space again. Even though they've given it up temporarily, again, they get into that. So what if we didn't have to be comfortable with that? We could just let that go too and allow something greater to show up for us. Having no debts and being, having more money in the accounts than people imagined possible earlier, that itself may be a space of discomfort. And that, when that person gets uncomfortable, they may be creating debt again because that is what they're used to. What if you could just allow yourself to be different from what you were in your past? What if you didn't have to fit into the same reality? What do you love about being in debt and having no money? People may say, no, I hate it. I don't like to be in debt. I hate having no money. Yes. Yet, if you keep choosing it, you know that maybe you have a comfort about being in debt. It's just something to acknowledge. Right now, I'm choosing this. I can unchoose this in the future. And whenever you unchoose it, you could create greater possibilities. And anything you judge is difficult to change. And anything you'd like to change, if you give up the judgment, then actually you could allow change with more ease. So what is your reality with money that you judge right now? What if you didn't have to judge you for this? What is your reality with money right now? For what reason do you judge yourself in your relationship to money? You may say, okay, I earn only so much. I should have saved more money in the past, but I didn't do that. So that is judgment too. And what else are you judging you about? What else are you judging you about? in your relationship to money? Did somebody cheat you of money and you allowed them to take money away from you? They said they would return it and they just took it away. And you were not willing to be aware of it maybe at that time and signed some documents, some papers, and they took it away. Or somebody took a loan from you. They said they would return it and they just disappeared. So, what if that was your choice then? And what if you didn't have to judge yourself? If you don't judge yourself around whatever is your current money reality, it is possible to change it. What are the new things you'd like to create in your relationship with money? What if something else was possible? What if something else was allowed? Then what would you choose? Okay, let me see. So, what do you love about being in debt? What do you love about having no money? And when you ask these questions, it's like looking at yourself in the mirror sometimes. You're like, really? Am I choosing debts again and again? Am I choosing to spend more than I receive? Spending more than you receive is one of the ways to create debt, actually. Receiving more money than you spend is one of the ways to clear debts. Sounds crazy? In a way, it's simple, just that we don't choose ease sometimes with money. Some people spend a lot because they have to impress others that they have this money or they have that wealth, and that's how they have to do this. Some people spend more money because they feel people have not acknowledged them, they feel invalidated, then they go spend more for different reasons. It could be on clothes, on the houses, whatever. Whatever else you may be spending on, you know better what you spend on. So look at the underlying reasons and justifications you have for spending money. What if you could give up 1 or 2% of those reasons and justifications for spending? What if you didn't have to have any reason and justification for spending money? What if it was just choice? If it was lighter, choose it. What if you could choose from the space of expansiveness rather than defending for a particular point of view? Often there is something we secretly love about creating that we're not looking at. If you're willing to ask some questions, you can acknowledge what is keeping you stuck. If you don't acknowledge it, you can't change it. So only if you acknowledge something that, hey, looks like I seem to love debt. Hey, looks like I seem to love not having much money. So that is an area that you could work on. So what do you love about being in debt for that amount? Is that the amount of debt that is comfortable for you? Does it keep you stuck in a limited financial reality? Does it keep you the same as everybody else? Sometimes people choose something because it makes them similar to their friends who are also in debt. It makes them similar to family members who are in debt. And they don't want to stand out differently to say, hey, I'm not choosing this. What do you love about having no money? Does it make sure you don't stand out from your family members? If you had money, do you believe your family would demand you to give it to them? So for some people say, you know what, if I have too much money, then people will borrow money from me. So I don't want to have too much money. I don't want them to borrow money from me. What if you always had choice whether to lend money out or not? What if you always had choice whether you wanted to pay other people's bills or not? Then what else is possible? What if you could just receive money and keep it in your account? Then what else is possible? What do you love about What do you love to hate about having no money? That sounds like tongue twister. What do you love about having no money? What do you hate about loving to have no money? What do you love about hating money? These are just different ways to ask different questions. They're not the same question, by the way. What do you love to hate about having no money? Does it give you something to complain about, a story or a justification that you can fall back on rather than just change it? What do you hate to love about having no money? Have you been told it's wrong to love money? Is money the root of all evil? Some people say, at least we're happy. So what if we don't have money? If you see that, they may not be choosing to be happy. And they're frequently thinking of how to pay their bills. Some people say it's good not to have too much money. We're not always thinking about money, but they may be thinking how to pay the rent, how to pay different bills. So they're still thinking about money. It's not that they have given it up. What do you hate to love about having no money? Have you been told it's wrong to love money? Is money the root of all evil? Do you judge your choice to have no money? Would you consider not judging you and recognize that you have a different choice now? What choice can you make today that can create more now and in the future? You may not be very comfortable about asking yourself these questions. You may be tempted to judge you more. Please don't do that. What if acknowledging all the crazy stuff we decided we loved about being in debt was just really the key to changing it? By looking at it without judgment and realizing that sometimes we're just cute, not bright, and then acknowledging this, you can make a different choice. What if it's not wrong? What if you could be grateful for your courage to look at it? So we really require actually courage to also see, what is my bank account? Where is my money going? How much money am I receiving right now? Am I receiving less than I'm spending? Am I spending less than I'm receiving? What's going on with my money reality? If you had to pause and have a look, actually, it does require you to be a little courageous. Sometimes this is an area we have it in front of us, but just avoiding looking at it. And it's huge, it's front of us, but we're looking somewhere else because we want to avoid this. And that is where you're refusing awareness. So Simone talks about her relationship with her father and his relationship with business and money. So she says, my father, he was a real kind man. He would often say that he would not die until he could make sure that his family had an education and was secure financially, that everything he did as a man was about creating a safe and secure life for his wife and children. So Simone didn't want her father to die because she loved him so much. But her brothers, sisters, her mother, they were all financially stable and they had all received good education. The only one who did not have positive money in the bank accounts was Simone at that time. And she realized that even though she thought she was perfectly capable of creating a greater financial future, she had created at that time, she had created herself as a financial mess. Because she thought, as long as I have debt and money problems, my father won't die. Now, looking at that as a logical point of view, it seems insane. Why would you choose that? But that is what she had been choosing. She says, luckily, my dad was still alive at that point, and I talked to him about it. He said in his accent, he said, Simone, this is crazy what you're doing. And I said, I know. I began to change my debt from that point onward. And I also got to see the joy and the happiness that his family had an education and was secure financially. Everything he did as a man was about creating for his wife and kids. To put it simply, Simone says, I began to receive. Are you willing to be aware of what you would truly like your life to be like? Are you willing to go beyond your comfort zones with debt and money and begin to thrive rather than just survive? Survive is where you're every month just meeting your expenses, you're getting just about enough money to spend on. What if you could ask 3 times the amount of money to show up in your life that you had to spend? Be willing to have money. We just, everybody seems a little fried. Let's have a little, some other tool. Let's work with something else. There's a difference between having, spending, and saving money. So we spoke about having money, we spoke about spending money and receiving money, different things, okay? Saving money is where we decided we have to save the money from us, actually. That's a whole different energy. What if you didn't have to save money for you, for anyone else? What if you didn't have to save money from you too? What if you could just choose ease with money? So having money is about willing to allow money to be in your life in such a way that you always have it and it contributes to the expansion of your life. It's not about making it significant. It's playing with money, and it also allows contribution and the willingness to receive. So Simone then talks about this necklace that she invested in. She says the pearls of that necklace, they're very rare, and the ocean doesn't produce those kind of pearls anymore. And because of the rarity in the world, its value, the pearl necklace she's chosen, actually the value keeps increasing. It's also an amazing, beautiful piece of jewelry. So that's also another reason that the value increases. And it's beautiful piece, okay? This is the energy that having money in your life creates, where it can just contribute to your life and create a sense of expansiveness. Having money in your life is not just about creating it and never spending it. When you're truly willing to have money in your life, you're also willing to use it so that you create more. So Simone talks about an example where her friend is always trying to save money for the businesses he works for. He is brilliant with technology and was working with a big company, traveling with them and taking care of their audiovisual needs wherever they went. After each event, he would pack the equipment, take it to the next country and city, and it created a lot of work for him. At one time, the owner of the company said to him, I want you to buy more equipment so that we have it in Europe, America, Australia, and Asia. That way we won't have to take it everywhere. And when we travel, we will not have to think about it. 2 years went by and he still hadn't bought anything. No one realized it until one day when the owner said, I asked you 2 years ago to get more equipment. What happened? He said, I was trying to save you money because all the equipment is so expensive. So he was trying to save money for the company by not spending on something. So get the energy of that. And now get the energy of carrying all these equipment country after country. Then get the energy of having equipment available in each country. Which energy is conducive to have the business grow and expand with ease? So are you someone who asks, how can I save money? What is the energy of that question? Is that a generative question? Does it seem to expand your choices or limit them? What would it take to generate more money? What energy do I need to be to create it with ease? Is there somewhere you're trying to save money? Try asking, if I spend this money I'm trying to save, would it create more for today and for the future? I'm not saying go out and get a new, high value car or a BMW or an Audi or whatever. Ask, will this create greater? It's not about blindly spending on something. Be willing to ask questions. If you get the sense of something being a contribution to you, then go ahead and spend the money. What would it be like to have money in your life that is there to contribute to you? Would it be like to have things in your life that are of intrinsic value and increase in value over time? So I know someone who had actually invested in an expensive car. Then the whole family was judging him. All his friends, extended family members were judging him. Oh, this person has invested in this expensive car. Look what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. And then after a difficult period of like 1.5 years or something, he sold that car. He said, you know what? I'm so fed up. I don't want people to judge me anymore. Are people going to stop judging you? People will judge us anyways. You buy an expensive car, they'll judge you. You don't buy a car, they'll judge you. You buy a car that's not expensive, they will judge you. Whatever you do, they will judge you. And what if you could be okay with that? Okay, so one person was saying that she was listening to some audio and she was trying to imagine having 100 crores with her. I felt I'll have nothing to look for in life. If she had 100 crores with her, there would be nothing else to look forward to in life. So what questions can I ask to change the situation? So it's a question of, excuse me, it's a question of you have X amount of money sitting in your bank account. And because you have that, you don't have something to look forward to. Ask, okay, I have X amount of money in my account. If money was not a consideration, then what would I like to create in my life? What would I like to create that is fun for me? What if it had nothing to do with money? And it may also have something to do with money. So what if you had 100 crores sitting in your account? What else is possible now that you never imagined possible before? There's another amazing book written by Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access. And he says that there's this book called Advanced How to Become Money Workbook. So I read this book and it was really interesting. Some of those questions in that book, the exercises, are thought-provoking. So I started, the first time I was reading this book, I was very serious because after all, it was an advanced book to talk about money. And then as I looked at it, I was finding it so heavy to work through the tools of the book and the thought processes. And at one time, Gary says, if you were receiving a lot of money, okay, like $1 billion, $1 million, every year you'll receiving $1 million. Next year, again, you'll receive $1 million. Then what would you like to create? So immediately I went into the seriousness. How can I use this money? I must use it for a good purpose, a right purpose, and this, that, and the other. And after that, I got so stuck. I could not look at how to spend that money. And much later, I realized that I had so much seriousness around that topic. Oh my God, it's a responsibility. I have so much of money. If I have this much, then I must think it out properly. I should use it only for a good purpose. And that itself was stopping me. So the joy of using that money to create something greater was missing. What if we could have ease with receiving money, ease with spending money, ease with creating greater, ease with having money too? What if all of this was possible? What if one choice did not exclude another? What if we could just have fun with money? And that fun aspect was totally missing while I was trying those questions. It's like, oh my God, I have to be serious. Now I have to do the right thing. So, the significance around that money was so high in those few minutes for me. And then I started laughing. And when I started laughing, it was so much easier. I could say, oh, okay, what if I could spend on a helicopter to go to some Timbuktu? And what if I had my own private jet? And what if I could book a whole room and we all friends went for a movie? And maybe I buy a movie theater too. And what if that is possible? And, once a month or twice a month, I'd have the theater full of friends and family members or something like that. And then it became more fun. What if you could actually have ease and joy with money? What if that was allowed? What if you didn't always have to do the right thing with money? What is the right thing with money? Where somebody else has decided this is the right thing with money. What if there is no such thing as a right thing with money? What if there is no such thing as a wrong thing with money? What if everything is just a choice? What you spend on, how much you spend on. What if everything is just a choice? And then what would you like to choose? I'm going to stop reading here. What would you like to talk about? Anybody with any of the things that we spoke about today?
Deepa, I want to thank you because I was just going through the questions as I was kind of answering, and it really takes you to points which you wouldn't have considered earlier. And that's awesome. Thanks a lot.
You're so welcome. Just mention your name as you speak.
Rajeshwari.
Sure. Thank you, Rajeshwari. Anything else? Anybody else wants to speak about?
Hi, Deepa, Tushar here. So whatever I create, no matter how much I create, I always get that feeling it's not enough. And I've been practicing access, been reading the books, but I go back to that cycle. And when I have excess money, I initially my first thought is how to spend it. Now it is changing to how to invest it. But how do I get out of the cycle of not feeling, that I'm not creating enough?
So what if that is judgment? And what if you could just be a little kind to you by not judging you? Because when you say I'm not earning enough, making enough money, receiving enough money, that's a judgment, right? That I want X, but I'm earning Y, I'm receiving Y. As long as you judge yourself, you can't change a situation. It becomes more difficult to change. So judgment actually demotivates many people. Some people think, yeah, it's a motivation. Now you have to look at how to do even better. But for many other people, judging themselves just doesn't work for them. And what if you didn't have to judge you? Then what else is possible? Ask, what judgment of me can I give up today? Another tool is ask, what's right about me I'm not getting? 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 What's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about this I'm not getting? So when you make a situation wrong, for example, ask, what's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about this I'm not getting? If there's something you want to spend on, but you don't have the money for that now, are you making you wrong for it? Are you making the situation wrong for you? Ask, what's right about me I'm not getting? What's right about me I'm not getting? Because it's very easy for us to judge ourselves and look, make a long list of what's not working in our lives. There's so much that is working in each one of your lives. If you start making a list of those and being gratitude for you, you'd be surprised what else is possible, that you're already creating so many things. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. That's another tool. Every day, say that 30 times in the morning, 30 times in the evening. That also breaks the algorithms of what is your standard way of creating your life. Ask, what else can be a contribution to me today? Who else can be a contribution? Who can be a contribution today that I never imagined possible? Are you willing to trust you with money? If you have excess money with you, are you willing to choose ease with that money? Just allow it to be there. And what if you didn't have to spend it too? Thank you for that question. Does that help?
Yes. Thank you. How do I get better than this?
Yes. How does it get better than this? Anybody else has a question?
Hi Deepa. Hi T.
Hi.
Yeah. Uh, Comparison from others. Sometimes ना I feel कि मैं ये सीख लूँ, मैं ये कर लूँ, then I perfect, you know, for ready for the class. So वो comparison and perfections. Then I know I don't create anything, you know. I just क्या बोल acknowledge I can collect only and I cannot use anything, you know.
Right.
So I have stuck there.
So what if perfectionism is a myth? It's a lie. What if it's not true? What if there is no such thing as perfect? What if you're conducting workshops, for example, what if people will come to you for who you be? What if you don't have to compare to anybody else and say, oh, that person's getting 2 people, I'm getting 1, that person's got 5, I got 2. No, that now I've got nobody. What if you don't have to compare? You know why? Because what if you're perfect on your own? What if there is no definition of perfect? So use this tool whichever way to manipulate you to get out of that.
Right.
You're so awesome on your own. There are so many people who would be coming to you for you. Right? That's what they like about you being you. And what if each one of you could just be that? Whoever you be today, you may be an angry person today. Okay, be that. It's still you. If you don't judge yourself, if you're present to it, you're angry. Okay, right now I'm angry and upset. Okay, be present to it. What if it's okay? And ask, how much fun can I have with this? What if you're beyond comparison? There's nobody like you. Actually, there's only one person like you, and that's you. So it's over. So even if I wanted to be like that, I can't be that because you're already there. So each one of you, what if each one of you are already a contribution to people? Now what else is possible? What if you're the only one who can slow you down? What if you're the only one who can stop you? Now, are you willing to give you permission to move on? Can you give permission to you, each one of you? Can you tell yourself, hey, I give myself permission to move forward? Can you all do that? Right now, please. Yes?
Yes.
Say, okay, right now I give myself permission to move forward. I'm giving up the judgment of me. What if I could move forward with ease? What if I didn't have to judge myself? You're such an awesome person. What if you didn't have to judge you at all?
But sometimes I cannot speak fluently in English. So sometimes I feel oh, how can I other person to make understand? How do I speak? How do I explain? So, so something is stopping me to move forward. You know.
So what if you could sign up for some English speaking classes where you converse English more frequently, okay, and get out of that?
Yeah, I tried, but you know, जहाँ पे perfect grammars and all that, that cannot go in my head. I don't know. I am just bored. कि नहीं करना है मुझे, like that.
I get that. Start watching a
Hmm.
few English films, start with or without subtitles. As you start
Yeah,
listening to the English, that can also open up some things, okay?
yeah.
And what if it doesn't matter? What if communication is not just words of a language? What if communication is actually the energy of what you speak also? And you, Bharti, even though you may not speak English so well as you think you should, maybe there are
Yeah,
many other languages you speak. You're multilingual, correct?
yes, yes.
You speak multiple languages. So there are so many people who speak those languages. Maybe many of them could show up with for, receiving from you.
True.
What if English didn't make a difference? There are so many countries in Europe where these facilitators, they're really good, but they speak only Italian or little bit of English, or they speak mainly German, hardly any English. What if it's okay? What if you're a contribution anyway, with or without language? So that is our judgment. What if that is the way you're judging you, to bring your energies down, to make you feel low and horrible? Just a waste of time. That is your reason and justification to not create,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
But
yes, right.
so what if
Thank you.
you're so welcome? So what if you could just give that up and say, hey, how much fun can I have? And maybe people will show up who know still different languages, and you're having extreme amount of fun in the class any which way. What if people are coming there to have the joy of spending time with you? And what if that's all right?
Deepa, one more question.
Yes.
Uh, Whenever we choose the class, we think कि I earn money, yeah, I just create money, from this class, whatever things. So how can I stop?
What if
What
you,
question can I ask?
right. What if I could choose to attend this class for no reasons at all? Ask that question.
Okay, and total reason, मतलब ना कि इतना रिसीव नहीं कर पाती हूँ। जब भी मैं कोई भी क्लास चूज करती हूँ ना, बैक ऑफ द माइंड ना, कि मैं कितना अर्न करूंगी या ये मुझे कंट्रीब्यूट करेगा कि नहीं, सो व्हाट क्वेश्चन कैन आई आस्क?
Okay, so first of all, if you're thinking, you're stinking. Okay, that is one tool for you.
Yeah.
So let's stop thinking. Just stop thinking. If your mind will go, everybody's mind goes. Just tell your mind, hey, can you just go for a walk and come after 2 hours? Send your mind out of the way and now say, okay, what else is possible? If money was not a consideration, then what would I choose? So some people come for a class because they want to practice on their mother. I'm going to practice these tools on my mother. I'm coming here for this class because I'm coming with my spouse because I want my spouse to learn all this. That is their agenda for attending that class. Okay. So similarly, you may have an agenda. In those few minutes, you're saying, okay, my agenda is I have to make money from attending this class. And what if it's okay to have an agenda? When you're present to it, say, you know what? What if I could just attend the class for the joy of attending? If I didn't expect anything from this class, then what else is possible? Because an expectation from a class will also reduce the energies that we could receive.
Right.
So all the expectations, projections, rejections, separations you have about that class, whatever it is for you, are you willing to let that all go?
Yes.
And then you can use the clearing statement. Okay, so that will also shift and change the energies where we don't have to choose from the old place. You can allow yourself to choose. If I had zero expectations from this workshop, then what else is possible? If I gave myself the permission to enjoy this workshop, then what else is possible? Sometimes people say, no, these workshops are very expensive. Don't go waste your time on that. And then people think, oh my God, I shouldn't do this. They're not willing to use the tools for themselves. They're like, oh my God, this person said this, I'm going to choose that. Same thing. Ask what works for me. If it works for you, choose it. If it doesn't work for you, don't choose it. But what if you didn't have to buy into somebody else's point of view and say, oh my God, it's wrong for me to spend money. Oh my God, I will get money from this. So both ways, you're making something right or wrong, good or bad. Anytime we make something right or wrong, good or bad, actually our energies get stuck. And when we move away from making anything right or wrong, good or bad, it actually creates greater possibilities.
और एक्सपेंसिव चीज चूज करनी है तो व्हाट क्वेश्चन वी हैव टू आस्क?
So expensive चीज है तो वो भी judgment है ना. This is expensive. I can't afford it. बहुत खर्चा हो जाएगा. I'm spending
नहीं,
too much.
वो पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू नहीं है, या कि एक्सपेंसिव है, मैं आई कैन नॉट अफोर्ड, नहीं, पर वो पैसे नहीं है वो वजह से नहीं चूज करती हूँ।
Okay.
प्राइस कम है या तो मैं चूज करती हूँ, फूड हो या क्लोथिंग हो, एनीथिंग एल्स।
Got it. If money was not the consideration, then what would I choose? Some people have a point of view that if I spend the most amount of money for this thing, only then it's of good quality. So they are just waiting to spend the most amount of money. Some people think if I spend the least, only that is good. But if you had no points of view at all about it, ask which one will be a contribution for me and buy from there. Then you're not making money the consideration. If it is light for you to choose it, choose it. If I choose to buy this, or if I choose to attend this workshop, or if I choose this, whatever that is, ask how will my life be in 1 year, 5 years? If it's light, choose it. in the midst of that, you may have points of view about money. Oh my God, I'm spending too much. This is not the right thing. What will this person think of me? What will that person think of me if I spend this much? What will I think about me tomorrow if I spend this today? So everything that is, just destroy and uncreate it all. If money was not the consideration, if I was to choose this class now, if I was to choose to buy this dress now, if I was to choose to go for this vacation now, would this be a contribution to me now and in the future? Ask that question. If it's light, then you can choose that. So when we are making expensive thing, cheap thing, less price, more price, whatever thing, as a consideration, then money is the main consideration. So there's this book, Money is Not the Problem, You Are. It's written by Gary Douglas and Dane here. So in that book, there's an example of when Dane wanted to buy a printer of certain features. And he had decided it's going to cost, I don't know, let's say $400 or something. And he didn't have $400 at that time. So they went to a couple of shops and they looked it out, and the features that he was looking for was there. This printer had it. It costed $400, and somehow Dane felt that's the right printer. So Gary said, okay, let's wait another day or two and then choose. After a couple of days, they went for a sale near their house or something, or a garage sale or something, and they found an amazing, great printer, which was much smaller than the printer they had seen the previous day, and it was just about $100+. And Dane had that money, and all those features he was looking for were in that printer. So when he didn't make money significant, like, okay, I have to spend a lot of money to get all these features. When money was not the consideration, he could allow something greater to show up. Much later, Dane realized that if he had bought that earlier printer, it would have been too big to fit into his office room. So actually, the other printer they got later was the greater contribution to him at that time. Okay, so play with the tools, ask different questions. Would this be fun for me? Would you get me money? Whenever you buy something, ask, would you get me money? And if it would get you money, you can choose that workshop, that vacation, the clothes, the car, the whatever. Give it a job. If it's light for you, choose it. If it won't get you money, won't get you fun, don't choose it.
Thank you so much, Deepa.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you well.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you all for
So
joining in.
light feel, huh?
You're feeling light? Awesome.
Yeah,
Good.
too much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining in. And see you next Tuesday, 8:30 India Standard Time. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.